November 11th. November 7th. I already messed up. That's right. Hey, we're going to keep going. November 7th, 2025 on a supermoon's Friday, right?
It is Friday.
It's a Beaver Moon Friday.
Why do they call it that?
It was on the news too.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I'm trying to get closer to the thing here.
Yeah, you sound good. Did you want the answer? Because I think I might know it. It has to do with the elliptical pattern of the moon against the Earth. It's the closest it's been with the most light on it. And this is the anomaly, and they've named it the Beaver Moon.
What does it have to do with a beaver of any sort?
I don't know. It sounds like something you don't tell your kids until they're old enough to drive.
Or is it that, or is it an actual...
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you have a smartphone right there.
I don't care that much.
You don't care that much?
No.
All right. So it's a Beaver Moon Friday. We just got done with our dinner, and that was under review for...
Yeah, not the best.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the company was great.
Yeah,
are we just on the YouTube, not the recording?
No, we're recording the show that's going to go on.
Is this the pre-show?
No, this is it.
Oh, okay.
This is it.
Sometimes don't we do YouTube, but we're doing
Sometimes
it both at the
pre-show.
same time?
Well, no, it's a recording that gets put everywhere. There's the part that we talk about before the music comes on, and that's the pre-show. Then there's the music, and then there's the
you
show.
threw me off.
I did, because you said, let's just go. And
because here, okay, but why did I say that? Because first
9 o'clock at
it
night.
was the music from the other room.
Yes.
Then we had to adjust for the fan.
Yes.
Then we had the dog squeaking.
Yes.
Then you thought you heard a hum.
Yes.
So I said, just come on, let's go.
You know why?
But that's why
They deserve the best.
Right,
show.
and that's why you take care of all the logistics and I just show up.
Yeah. So either way, that's what it is.
All right, so we're being recorded. So
It's
even
the
though there's
show.
no... Okay.
Yeah, the theme song already went, and I said,
Yep, I
and I
heard
got
that.
the date wrong,
Okay.
and then we started and we went.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well...
And what it is, we don't edit. So this is it. And
So-
we make mistakes.
How can I see the amount of time we're recording?
It's that little guy right there. You see that little guy right there?
No, usually I see it in bigger numbers.
Oh, but I'm not...
You haven't been recording?
On the other program. No,
Are we recording?
yes, we are. We're recording.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it through Riverside, and Riverside's going to give me the audio.
Okay.
And it's going
So anyway,
gonna be fun.
we've been on for a couple of minutes. I would just like to know how long we've
Yeah, a
been
couple of minutes. Can you see that
talking
number? Because
here.
I cannot. It's
Which one?
that number right there. 2 minutes, 3 minutes? I don't know.
I know it's red and I know it's there, but
No. 'Cause we're
I
getting-
have my contacts in, and well, everyone's going to know now. Even though I'm almost 50, gasp, I don't need reading glasses, but I still need contacts for distance. So I can't see, if I didn't have my contacts in, I definitely wouldn't be able to see that, but I'd be able to read what's in front of me.
Yeah.
But I have two different contacts in, one for distance and one's a
That
little
doesn't
less.
sound fun. That sounds very difficult.
No, and I was thinking about having the eye surgery again, but at this point I don't even know what they could do for me because years ago when I had LASIK, it was only for distance, and now every time I go for my eye exam, they're like, "Are you sure you can read? You don't have trouble reading?" And I'm like, "No." And I guess by now most people do.
Yeah, it's 15 years, I think, isn't it?
No. I'm talking about the fact that I'm getting older, and after 40, a lot of people need reading glasses. I don't need reading glasses.
Right.
And I guess that's uncommon, or so they make me think when I go for my eye exam. Anyway.
Well, either way, we can't see the numbers on the screen.
Yeah, no, I can't. So chat away, and I'll just look at the clock up there in our
Either way.
enormous studio.
Yes, 40,000 square feet don't count. Don't look around. So we started like 3 minutes ago. It's 9:15 in the PM, and there you go. So we're just gonna go with that. Oh my goodness! I mean, we came on with this whole plan, and with most things, plans change and get adjusted. Dave can't be with us this weekend. Dave is going on a very exciting hunting trip.
You know what I should say since he can't be here?
Oh dear.
Yes.
See,
You took it. You took my punchline.
I was guessing.
That was good.
I was guessing. We've been together 20 years.
No.
It's going to cost you a few bucks.
Oh, my. I'm sure I've got some more, but...
We got a whole show.
Yeah.
You can just pepper him in.
Yeah,
so Dave is preparing for his very exciting hunting trip that he's going to go on his land up north. So yeah, he was planning for that tonight. Couldn't get the microphones working. So we're going to do our very best to entertain you this weekend.
So I'm number 2, which is fine. I don't care. I told you I would do a podcast this weekend anyway.
Because we have our own stuff to talk about that I couldn't do with Dave. So
yeah, very true.
there we go. I think it's a topic that we revisit often because as we evolve as parents and as we change,
as we age,
evolve.
That was a nice way of saying it, but
it is.
Age. As I said, I'm going to be 50 in April.
We get like AARP flyers in there.
Bite your tongue.
There's discounts. You get like you
they
take
can
a
keep their
survey and
discounts.
you get a coupon.
They can keep their discounts.
So, and as we evolve as parents, the relationship evolves as well. And it's fun to watch. I have a lot of my guys at work who are, have brand new babies. And they're like, oh, this baby is so hard. I have to feed it and change a diaper. And I giggle and I laugh because it's not that it's easier or harder. It's just different. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the way it was. When you have a baby, it is hard. You've got to feed the baby every 2 hours. You have to change the diapers constantly. You feel like you're filling a landfill by yourself. However, like the challenges that we face now are very different. Yes, this child should feed herself and do all these things to where like we have different challenges that we'll talk about today. So it's not that
and we're going to keep it very generic.
Yeah.
Because we have a teen and we want to be.
It's on here. Yes. The sensitivity and the social.
Yes. 5 years from now, this will be a totally different podcast about what it was like in the trenches and
that's what
her perspective too.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. So, raising teenagers, and we only have one, so it's not the teenager, and expected versus unexpected. What did you expect to raise a teen to be like? I expected some of the things. I expected the moods and the empathy, the powerful emotions that run through the household.
I expected the natural progression of pulling away for her to be, not that she's always by herself because she's not. She's a very loving and wonderful girl, but that separation that starts to happen as she's becoming her own identity, not the version that we have maybe groomed her to be. Yeah. But like just her spending more time by herself, figuring out herself. And I think a big thing for me is to remember that I want her to be the person she wants to be, not the person I want her to be.
That's fair. I mean, within reason.
Yeah. As long as she's safe and...
Is it legal? Is it safe? And
yes.
that's a discussion we have a lot around the house is when these things happen, we have issues that come up. Is it legal? Is it safe? And if you check those two boxes, you as a parent, and this is where the subjectivity comes in, especially when we talk amongst other parents, what's acceptable, not acceptable, is I think we accept quite a bit.
I would say, at least for me, I'm pretty liberal with her, within reason, making her decisions and supporting them. And even though it's really hard, feeling like she's going to make a mistake and just allowing her to do it anyway and biting my tongue.
Yes.
And the boundary there, like when do I not say anything versus when do I say you really need to just hear me out on this topic. But yes. The things that we do with her, I know I never had.
Oh like gosh, no. Yeah.
The conversations and the amount of time that we spend with her or together as a family, which I love. Like I wouldn't change that for anything, but it is very different than
I can honestly tell
age.
You. I mean, because obviously my parents are never going to watch this, but I can tell you my sex talk was, my dad walks out in the garage and goes, "Hey, this thing with your girlfriend, save you money." That was it. I mean, there was
Was that the voice?
Yeah, that was it too. There was an accent. It was upstate New York, but there was no like, "Hey, here's a bird and here's a bee."
I don't think I ever had a discussion like that.
None of that.
No, I think I got nothing.
Right.
Literally nothing. No discussion. No. anything.
So, I mean, I think that, I guess on our end, I would feel is better as it's more,
There's more communication,
a lot more
I think.
communication.
And
You're allowed to have feelings.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to have
Oh,
feelings.
yeah. Yep.
So, you know, and I think that's some of the stuff that was, yeah, we expected the challenges that come from like the mood swings and all that stuff, but the communication was unexpected. Whereas, you know, we are, and I feel that you and I are both very, very good communicators. From our professional backgrounds to our own personal lives, we have excelled in the field of communication. The simplest of things, slowing down, picking the best words, making sure there's feedback, and really going through the whole process. I think we do really, really well with that. So I think that was something that was unexpected, but still better.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I expected things like doing a lot of driving.
Yeah. I didn't get any of that.
No, I don't really think I did either. But I don't think it's abnormal in this age and time. Like, we're not the only parents who are driving around.
We
but
are
again,
some
we
serious. Yeah, there we like I said, we can be some serious chauffeurs at times.
Yeah, and we only have one child. Maybe if we had a couple, we'd be like, hey, listen, X number of times a month, we'll take you where you want to go. And other than that,
Yes.
forget it. You're not going anywhere. So
Right.
save it for the good ones.
Yep.
But I also want her to have experiences and memories. And she's a pretty outgoing kid. You know, she likes to...
Yeah.
She likes to do things and go places, and I don't want to hinder that in her. So
Well,
if
here's
we're
something
available, I'm taking her. I won't give all the details, but what we did last night, we went somewhere at 8:30 at night so she could go watch something, which was great to watch. But I mean, it was maybe a half hour. But did I really want to do that?
Right.
No, but I wanted to
Provide
support
that-
the
provide that for
person,
her.
and then also, provide that for her, but then also support the other
Well,
person.
and here's another
because
thing
I
too:
like
is
that
something
person, too.
unexpected. Something unexpected is that she excels academically. Mm-hmm. I did not expect that. I mean, with most teenagers I was, and most teenagers I met, academically, your head's kind of in your butt. Yeah, like you don't really have that whole like, I really want to do schoolwork and I want to get my projects done and I want to. And she focuses so much on schoolwork where we're doing projects that are probably due 2 months out, and she's telling us they're due tonight, and it's a Friday night.
Yeah, no,
So-
I really do think that was due. The
It might
teacher
be,
gave him extra
but
time.
it's consistent. It's consistently like there's a project, there's a this, there's
Yeah, she
hours
has
and
in
hours
this
and
program.
hours.
I mean, you know, but everybody else doesn't. The program she's in seems to just intensify the academic level that she is expected to perform at. And some of that is, a lot of that is from the school, and we knew that going in. But then I also think that she, in a great way, is very high achieving.
Yes.
She wants the 100%, not, oh, a 91 is an A, so I'm going to go for
Right,
that.
no.
Like and this is nothing. I say we didn't instill this in her. You or I have never pushed her to, you must get all A's. Like, we've
Correct.
had numerous conversations of, you're going to get a B. or
Someday
maybe
it's
a
gonna
C,
happen.
And prepare yourself for that. And sure as shit, she hasn't had any of that
No.
yet. But
The lowest grade I think is a 97, and she's upset about it.
yeah, she just wants a higher. She's
Oh, yeah.
not upset.
If it's not
she
three
just
digits,
wants a higher grade.
And now, I mean, granted, now you can get 103, 105 in these classes, and I'm like, that was not a thing for us. But no, I mean, so we are very fortunate in that way, and that was unexpected. So that's
And I think back to the little thing that I was thinking about. You and I have high standards
Yes.
when it comes to performance, work-wise, personal-wise, goals, achieving things. And although I don't think we've ever said to her, you must get all A's, you must do this. Like, we've only said, you need to do your best. If your best is this grade, they all can't be winners. As long as you give your best effort, but and that is what she's doing, but we've never said it has to be a certain percentage, or if you don't get all A's, you're going to be grounded. Like,
yes.
nothing.
There's no unrealistic
like that.
expectations.
But I almost think that her Like some kids are really good at sports. Some kids are talented when it comes to singing. Like I think her gift is school. Her dedication to it and the
And as a parent, I mean, I don't know if we have a code. I think she has a lot of gifts. I think she has way more gifts than all the other kids, only probably because she's ours.
yours.
Yeah. That's what it is. But yeah, I mean, she can sing. She can dance quite well. She does
she
well
could
academically.
until she broke her arm twice. And
the dancing was different though.
Yeah.
The dancing, the gymnastics. She cannot land a gymnastics landing. Okay, we know that. But otherwise than that, she can dance, she can sing, she can do academics. She tells a hell of a good joke. She can hang out. She can hang out with adults. She can take care of kids. She's very well rounded. We're very fortunate. Also, unexpected. Let's be honest, unexpected because. I don't know about you, but I'm looking at me going, well, if it's coming from me, I'm sure it's not going to, it's going to be just like me. And I'm going to have all those fumbles that I had as a kid or all those opportunities for improvement I had as a kid. And so far, so good. We've done pretty well with that. Into the new realm of we have just crossed into of the learner's permit. And when it comes to driving, there's a new paradigm that we did not know about. And it was that kids don't want to drive anymore. I didn't realize. I had heard whispers of it. And now, having the teams and meeting the different kids and so on and so forth, they don't want to drive. They have parents that drive them everywhere.
Well,
so there's no desire where you and I you could not wait. You couldn't wait to get out and get that license and go.
And in her case, she does want to drive. I think part of it now, and we didn't have this, was, well, if you're not driving the car, but you're still getting to the place you want to go, you can be on your phone. You can be doing Snapchat. You can be taking pictures. You can be watching videos. So the driver doesn't get to do those things. So what is the incentive?
Correct.
For a teen with a learner's permit to want to drive all the time with a parent if they're going to eventually get their license when they turn 16. They think, well, by then I'll be a great driver and I'll know everything what to do, but not having that practical experience. And again, with our daughter, it's only been a month and a week, but she has driven some, and we'll just keep encouraging that. But I do think that's why, because you could be doing other things, so why drive?
I like that theory. I didn't really think much about the phone, but yeah. I have said they can sit in the back and do, and like I say, I could be like, they do the TikToks. Yeah,
and I don't even necessarily mean B. I just mean any kid. Look at them when they're in the car. They're not just gazing out the window watching the trees go by.
We drive
they're
quite frequently
like this.
to Orlando, and there's not much time she could tell you what's outside the window.
Well, and she listens to a lot of music too.
Yes.
So
very enjoys the music.
Oddly enough, this is not most of what we planned on talking about. It is a little bit, but I've kind of gone on and on about B instead of what was on the list here. But I guess that's what parents do sometimes.
That's the beauty of our show. We
talk about kids.
We just make it up as we go.
Well, I should say, parents tend to talk about their own kid and can go on and on and on. And clearly that's what I've done.
It's okay.
So I'm going to zip.
Well, and they've met her, though. And that's the thing is they've met her, and now they've seen her because she was on a video. So, But more mature than we were, too. We had a conversation at the station the other day about how much cash kids keep in their wallet. And, there's this thing now, the kids nowadays hoard cash. We live in a world of digital currency, and everything is on a debit card. Nope, not for the kid. I mean, it's like her and all of her friends have thousands of dollars in cash that are stuck in wallets. And I'm like...
I wouldn't say but that's an uptown.
But no, I was like, well, I guess the group of teens that are at the firehouse, they all have the same thing going on, where the kids are not spending their own money, saving the cash, and they show each other's cash. So but I guess that's a good thing. But they're much more mature. The things that I know that Bella knows is beyond what I knew at her age.
Yeah.
She understands stock market. She understands investments. She understands paying bills. She understands driving. She understands all these little sad little grown-up things that she's going to have to know how to do. She's already got a really good grasp on.
And one thing I would encourage parents to do that are listening, go over often when they're younger the price or the cost of things with your child. Yeah. What does food cost at the grocery store? How much do you think the electric bill is? What does it cost to get a new pair of jeans? How much are back to school supplies? So that they have an understanding of well, I know my mom and dad pay for things, but not knowing the difference in a pair of jeans versus a loaf of bread versus the electric bill and all of the different amounts.
I think where that really comes to us as an example is when we do go to the store and she'll have 2 or 3 options of the same item and you see her select the best price per unit of whatever she's buying.
And I know that warms your heart.
Oh, it does. Oh,
Coming from retail.
those are my penny. I'm going to pinch every one. But yeah, and that's the thing is because eventually and sooner rather than later, she's going to be on her own, buying her own groceries that if you've been to the store, you know they are completely inflated. It's scary. It's honest to goodness, it's scary for kids to have to go out and do this on their own.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to figure it out. And I think she has a good grasp of, if there's a day where I got to eat ramen, we're going to figure it out and we're going to know how to do it the best way possible. But to have that level of maturity, we definitely did not have that. And where that comes into us as struggling parents or sometimes is when it comes to like teen dating. So teen dating happens, I'd say earlier, at least it did for me. I was a late bloomer. My first girlfriend didn't come until I was 17. So, I mean, I was driving before I had my first girlfriend. Now, I don't know.
That was not the case for me.
I know. You can see all this sexy going on here. I know how you can see how that can't be possible, but it was. So for now, but like now we dealt with it earlier and we deal with it a different way. So dating for us was very different than dating for them.
Yes. And I think in a good way and then sometimes in a mixed feelings way, because they have that constant connection with the phone, with
social
texting
media
and videos and voice chats and all of these different options where we had, if we were lucky, a cordless phone.
It was a landline. You had to share it.
Yeah, you had a phone on the wall on a giant cord or maybe a short cord, and you had to stand right there and talk on the phone. So I know I would drag a chair over. We'd have a really long cord, but everyone could hear what you were saying if they walked by. So there wasn't a whole lot of privacy. And now they can be on the phone all the time or, hey, here's where I'm at. Let me send you a picture. So I feel like teens now.
Location sharing. It was never the thing. Yeah.
But teens now, if they choose to, they could know someone in, let's say, a month that it would have taken us. And I don't feel I'm exaggerating here. 5 months to get to know, like, okay, this person doesn't like tomatoes or, oh, their favorite
Here's
movie
the soap they use.
Yeah. Yeah. But now everything is just like right there and available. And so in a good way, I think they can navigate relationships a little more quickly. Like, okay, this is a good one for me, or nope, I found out these things and we're not a good match. Whereas before it would have taken longer. And I also think that because they have that connection by the phone, that yes, they still want to get together and do things, but there's not like when I was a teenager, like you'd want to go physical places, even if it was just someone else's house, and a couple of people would spend the night or people would come over. And now it's like I feel, and not just, I don't mean this necessarily from just my personal experience, but I feel like they kind of feel like, well, why not just lay around where I'm comfortable with my snacks in my comfy place if I can still communicate with my friends over a phone? Seems to be more prevalent than when I was a kid in the old days.
What would be your opinion of this? So you correctly, I think, identified the fact of is that everything is so available to them. There's so much like, hey, I already know what food they like, what soap they use. I already know all this stuff. Do you think it lessens the value of when they have a hunch that it doesn't work out? So hypothetically, you and I met in 1993. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to take her out on a date. And on a date, I got to hold her hand. And I figured out she likes popcorn. Okay, on the second date, and I put so much time and effort and money into this to where I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, you pick your nose. And I'm like, okay, this isn't going to work. So but I'm like, you know what? Am I really going to back out? Because I don't have enough time, effort, and money to keep doing this over and over again. Whereas those facts just fell into their lap and they can go swipe left and they can say, you're out.
An interesting study in years to come will be what the marriage and divorce rate is since the smartphone.
I like that.
If it's lessened.
Because it could be even better because they've already done all the footwork.
Right.
There's no more
Right. It's
surprises.
kind of like they used to say, oh, you should live with, well, not everyone, but some people would say you should live with this person before you get married to make sure you're really compatible.
Right.
And like, can you stand to be with each other day in and day out and, share expenses and all of those things. And I just completely lost my train of
No.
thought.
So the study would be the divorce rate after the smartphone. So like,
Oh, I know what I was.
Yeah,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, please.
But that was the thing. So it's like, you've done all the homework, you have all the facts. Is it easier to throw it away, or is it you've already done all that homework, so you don't have to throw it away? You can just keep it because this is the marriage that works.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, you get into it and 15 years in, all of a sudden, like, oh, okay, she's been smoking in the garage for 10 years and I never knew about it. And now I don't like that. So now, yeah. Right. So is that what happens? So it's both good and bad.
Yeah.
And I think I think a fair assessment to say is it's not good for us to say good or bad. It's just for us to identify as different.
Yeah, it's just different.
And it's just
And I'm
different.
sure it was very different for our parents' generation, how they dated versus how we dated.
They had almost
versus
arranged
how
marriages, didn't they? I don't think we're that
no.
many generations away from.
I know my parents and grandparents absolutely didn't.
No?
But
Your grandparents?
no, arranged?
Well, wasn't there like dowries and like if you marry her, you get 3 meals, and there's none of that.
Are you being serious?
I think I really thought like a few generations ago they
No.
had more like this is a strong family. They have a farm. You need to marry this one, and they were compelled.
How long
to,
ago do you think that was?
Civil War-ish. So 3 generations.
Okay, my grandparents aren't from the Civil War.
But their parents were.
Okay, okay.
Their parents were. So it's
Yeah, I mean, yes, there probably were, but back then there were fewer tools for communication, smaller pools of people that were living in rural areas. So it was kind of like, well, I guess this is the best of the choices for what I've got available. And now with the phone, we could be talking to someone right now who lived in Indiana and have a whole relationship. Well, one of us, over the phone.
Do you have a relationship with someone in Indiana? Okay.
No, I barely have time for the relationship I'm
know.
in with you, right?
We're very busy.
But anyway, yes, I definitely think dating is very different. As you said, not good or bad, just different. And I think a study in years to come on marriage and divorce rates would be quite interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I have to accept that I wouldn't have been comfortable with in our generation of, like you had said, they just lay around. They just lay around. That's what they do.
Now, yes, I do think that's true. In our case, though, there really isn't a lot of laying around because there's always other
activities.
Yeah, there's stuff going on and
we try to
commitments.
also provide like, hey, let's all go here, let's all go there.
Yeah.
Whereas if we just sat back and kicked it on the couch, there
But
wouldn't
I'm
be-
fully aware that there are many teens, maybe they like it that way, maybe they don't, and it's just an environmental family
Opportunity.
dynamic that they maybe don't go a lot of places, and I don't mean places where you have to spend money. I just mean that if the family dynamic is more introverted and we're going to stay home and we're not going to go out often and do things, that's what those children are accustomed to, that's their normal. Whereas if you're, and not that this is but if someone's playing soccer and they have practice 3 nights a week and games on Saturdays, that's a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
And for those families, they're on the go all the time.
Yeah.
But I think the happy medium is things outside of the house and things inside of the house. And for all of us, not just teens, but for all of us to be mindful of the amount of time we're on our phone. Because I fully admit, I'll go on Facebook, I'll get in some groups, stuff I don't even care about. And I'm like, ooh, what does that say? And next thing you know, you've been sucked in and you're like, holy crap, it's been 45 minutes and I've accomplished nothing. I came on here to like send an email.
And that's the way it's designed. It's actually designed for that. Because my Achilles heel is the little like red dot with the number in it. Facebook, Instagram, doesn't matter, right? You have an alert or whatever they're called, notification. Mm-hmm. You got, I have a little bubble with the number 3 on it and the thing. And I'm like, I need to know what that is. Yeah. And I'll circle through all the different apps and all the different social media. And I got to get rid of, I have to get rid of those. I don't know why that is, but that's something that it's programmed me to do. And then obviously the algorithm is quite amazing. if you like something, it knows everything you like and everything you do. So we just got to lay down to the AI gods because they're coming.
Yeah.
And that's what these kids are dealing with. But I wanted to share the one story I had, how it's so different. It wasn't a girlfriend because I wasn't very popular. I don't know how, once again, I'm sure the audience is sitting at home going, what? No, but I wasn't very popular. And I went to go try to date a girl at, it's not the halfway house. What the hell? It was a troubled kids house. Yeah, we had one.
How have I not heard this story?
Well, that's why we're going to tell it here live on the show. Very Terrible Podcast premiere, everybody. Ready?
Whoa.
Oh, hang on. All right, Very Terrible Podcast premiere. One of the times I had a girl that had shown interest in me, and I think it was only because I had
way out of the house.
Way out of the house. She was in a halfway house. I don't care if she watched. She probably doesn't watch. She's probably in jail by now anyway. So either way, she was in this halfway house for troubled kids. It was called Kinderhof, and it was in Kinderhook, New York. And there was a place called Kinderhof, and it was essentially a mansion. The place was huge, and I'm sure it was like an institution. So all the troubled kids all went there, and there was this one girl.
Did they live there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They lived there. So they all came from different broken homes and got plucked out by the system, and they all got placed into this so they could go to public school and be integrated back into society. And hearing the stories of it was organized. Like to look back, it was actually quite organized. Like they had organized meals and a bedtime and a thing like that. And they did their homework.
Yeah, they were trying to provide structure.
Get them some structure, right? Yeah. So either way, there was this one who didn't find me repulsive. So we had to start hitting it off. But we wanted to kind of go somewhere, but we didn't have anywhere to go. I don't have a whole lot of money, and I had 8 acres of woods in the backyard. So I'm like, well, we'll just hang out here at my house. What would be considered a traditional date on today's standards? Just hang out at the house. Mm-hmm. So we had to drive 30 minutes to get to Kinderhof, to where we had to sign her out like a library book. Oh, we had to sign release forms. We had to sign release forms that says, hey,
I'm surprised you were allowed.
My mother was not happy.
Oh, God.
Which is a theme that repeats itself. But my mother was not happy. And just like my son, so whatever, has this little thing, girl coming over. And either way, she came over to the house to hang out and not do much else. Mm-hmm. Very uncomfortable the entire time. Did not eat my mother made, I would assume it was like a spaghetti dinner because we had that many times during the week. So it was probably, let's call it spaghetti and red sauce. And she sat there and didn't eat a bite. And we all ate our whole meals and was this awkward the whole time. And the whole dynamic was just weird. But that was the first time where it was like, oh, this whole hanging out at the house thing, this is not a date whatsoever, at least not at my house. So, but that was it. That was the first time. So that was not my first girlfriend, but it was one that was like, actually, well, I'll take that back. It was one of the first girls I had shown interest in where I was able to talk to somebody. But no, my first real girlfriend didn't show up till 17.
Well, never mind. I was going to say something, but scratch that.
We don't edit.
No, I don't. That's why I'm going to leave it out.
Oh, okay. So either way, my sad dating history, we'll leave that out. So, but look at like a fine wine. I showed up at the end. Oh,
that you did.
Social media.
Wait a minute.
Yes. Married 19.
19.
Married 19. Together 20.
Oh. Ooh, next year, that's going to be my 50th birthday in April and our 20th anniversary in October.
So many benchmarks.
Oh, my word.
Oh.
20 years.
Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Just like that. Best 20 years. Oh.
Yes. You're so sweet.
I try. Social media control is one I wrote down, right? So we looked at the social media aspect of things. The kids date quicker because of social media, because there's so much access, because there's so many things going through the internet. How, as parents, do we decide what to control and what not to? Because I can tell you our opinion on the matter is very unique to other parents that we talk to. So, like, I feel like Bella has all the apps. I don't think there's any that she doesn't have.
She has a lot. Yeah, she has a lot of them.
And we do our due diligence as far as like we have abilities to make sure that there aren't anything crazy going on. But she still has the freedom to do with whatever she wants. So I think that's the balance for us in our house. And like we know parents that say no Snapchat, no TikTok, no this, no that, because okay, TikTok's controlled by China. Snapchat is where they do human trafficking. Blah, blah, blah. You can sit there and we can go down the rabbit hole. We're not going to. But we've decided to yet we have a unique and exceptional child that does well with everything. Why would you not give her the opportunity to still continue to do exceptional and wonderful things
doing
elsewhere?
what she needs to do. Now,
Yeah.
I will say, if she was a different kind of child, we probably would have more limitations
Oh, yeah.
on lots more limitations. But we've been very fortunate in her being, oh, that sounded like a fart, but it wasn't. It was my finger on the chair. Anyway, every family is different. Everyone's doing the best that they can. No judgment. If Snapchat's not for your kid until they're a certain age or till they're out of your house, or you don't want your child to have a cell phone, like every family has to do.
They have to do their own.
Right.
It
And it
is,
can vary from child to child. You know, I remember when Bella years ago said, well, how old will I have to be to start dating? And I just said, I don't really have an age in mind. It's going to depend on where you're at in your life, how mature you are. Like, just there's going to be variables that I can't answer that. Like, maybe for one kid, you want to say, holy smokes, they're really immature. Maybe they can do group dates only, or maybe you need to wait till you're 18. Who knows? But just, I think it's different for every kid and every family, and everyone's just trying to figure it out.
what was the age that she asked us to have a phone? I don't remember. 10?
I don't.
She
I
always
honestly don't remember.
She always had access to ours because, hey, you got a game on your phone, right? You got
Yeah.
a game on that phone?
Yeah, the
And they
big
would
thing
play.
was she got the phone when she was, and I'm not saying this is the only reason why, but when we stopped driving her physically back and forth to school and she wanted to ride the bus, we wanted to have a way of communicating with her.
We started with the watch.
Right. Right. At first we had
Gizmo. Gizmo watch.
Yep, but then that had it, and it was a very good watch back then, but it had limitations. She could only send like preset
Yeah.
texts, and the only way to call was like a speakerphone. So if she, I don't know, wanted to tell us something privately, everyone around could hear her and everyone could hear our response. So it was
perfect for what it was at the time.
yeah.
I
And
think.
that didn't have a GPS in it.
No.
Right? And that was the other reason with the phone.
The first one did not. The second one did. There were 2 Gizmo
Okay.
watches, and Gizmo 2 you could look at the phone and see where she was.
Yeah.
We would follow.
But I'm a big fan of that. Like something for your kid in a pinch to be able to communicate with you. Even
Yes.
limited, doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles of a phone, a smartphone, but something.
Yes. No, I agree. And it's for us to have tools and not use them is almost as silly as worrying about what's on them.
But 10-ish, that sounds...
10 sounds about right. Either way,
Yeah.
there was a weird balance of like, oh, and then whether it be by chance, and actually it was by chance, because I feel like in our friend circle and in our work friend circle, we have the oldest child of that cycle. Like, I feel like we are
right
going
now
through
we
everything
do.
first. And, you know, like us, like my guys at work, you know, oh, we just had a baby, or this one's 4 or 5. I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, I can think of one family that has 2 daughters that are going through teenage years right now. But the rest of them, you're right. We don't have like
little.
they're either 12 and under or they're in college.
Right.
And then I can think of 2 girls. So one family, 2 girls, us. And I'm sure there's I did think of another one. Okay. I just thought of
just
another
feel like
one.
we're kind of
with
at the
a boy.
forefront. You know, we have friends that we can go to and go, hey, because their kids are 20 now. Like, hey, when your kids were teenagers, X, Y, Z, and they'll give us an appropriate answer for what it was at the time. But yeah, so social media control is a real big one. And it's something that we had to make our own choices that might have been different from everyone else, but it's what makes it's comfortable for our family.
So what do you think, what do we want to guess it was like for, I don't know, like for our grandparents dating? Like I kind of envision.
There was a dowry.
I kind of
I will bring you
envision.
3 cattle.
No, I don't think it was like that, but I think it was more of a
They're going to the sock hop.
bigger deal. Yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe they went and got a malt after.
They got a malt at the sock hop.
Yeah.
And they were drinking out of a paper bag, smoking unfiltered cigarettes.
Yeah.
They were definitely all smoking.
Yeah.
They all smoked.
And maybe back then people married earlier, younger.
Do you know why? The life expectancy was that low.
Yeah.
People died at 60.
Well, and back then, like, it was common to have kids at like 18 or 20.
Oh, yeah.
And now I still think, yes, that is happening inappropriate for some couples or
Yeah.
some families. But I think for the most part, like people aren't having kids as young now as like my grandparents
No,
did,
not at all.
or as many kids.
And, that's what it is too, as I say, because you had to have a bunch of them, because there was this weird like push to repopulate, populate the earth or whatever it was. And now it's quite the opposite, because with the cost of things, my goodness, I mean, we hear the horror stories of our friends with multiple kids and the things they buy and share. Oh my goodness, the sharing.
Just braces alone. If you have a kid, if you have a family with 3 kids and all of them need braces, or you would like to provide them with braces, minimum $15,000.
Yes.
Minimum. And that's if they don't need expanders and special
Surgery
apparatuses and things for their mouth. So it's very expensive.
Yeah.
And like every family, I would hope, wants to provide everything possible within reason for their kid, whether it's braces or helping them get their first car or buying them their first car. So having to do that multiple times in
I think there's a lot of sharing.
Unit,
I really think there is. Like we have a family that I know that I work with, that we're very close with, that have 3, 4 kids, and you can tell there's already there's a designed lineup of, okay, this one's getting their first car. It's also going to be your first car and your first car. So we're all going to take care of this car together, because it's all going to be your first car.
Yeah, it's a hand-me-down.
Yeah, a lot of hand-me-downs and a lot of shared pictures.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's actually, I got to be honest with you, it's probably better in the long run, because in a world that doesn't share, to have that quality about you. But
be grateful for what you get.
Yeah.
Any car, whether it's a hand-me-down or not.
Well, and let's talk about hand-me-downs, right? So, I mean, I did not come from an affluent background, and I had patches on my pants, where now holes in pants apparently are cool, I guess. But, like I had patches on my pants. We had hand-me-down clothes. We had all those things. And there was a social pressure that comes with that. Oh, you're a poor kid. Oh, hey, your house has wheels. Yeah, I get it. So, we had all that. And where like...
Oh, there was no money
you didn't
in
have
my
that,
family.
and she definitely doesn't have it, right? So B doesn't have it.
No. Wait, doesn't have what?
Oh, doesn't have the pressure of worrying about hand-me-down clothes and all that stuff.
We just didn't have money, plain and simple. Like, it wasn't a matter of hand-me-downs, because I was the only girl. Like that, there was no one to hand them down to, or for them to
No
come
cousins.
to me
Your
from.
cousins didn't have anything to get you.
No, I'm the oldest.
Well, your cousins are. Oh, that's right. You are
I'm the oldest one. And geographically, anyway, we just didn't have a lot. Like clothes, shoes, like in a good way. We provide B with several pairs of shoes that she can wear to school. I had one pair of...
She has several by that door, and several in her
but like
2 dozen
I
in her
had
closet.
one pair of sneakers.
Yeah.
I vividly remember this because I had to go to a track meet and I had to run, and all I had was like...
You were in track?
LA gear.
Have we ever talked about this?
Or something. Hold on, I'll get back to that. High tops.
Yeah. Oh, no. Oh,
that's what I had to go
you
running
didn't win,
in.
did you?
No.
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 Oh, not in high tops.
No. Not but anyway, no. So there was very minimal funds in them. My teenage years were even worse, but we don't have to get into all
But there were
that.
social pressures that came with that. Now, I don't know if you felt that, but I know I did.
I definitely did. And I had one friend who was super, super nice and literally loaned me her clothes. Like always was like, oh, you can borrow this, or, oh, go ahead and wear that. Like very, very giving. I'll just mention her name in case she's listening. Robin.
Oh, I hope she does.
I'd say, oh,
Hi,
I
Robin,
like
I hope
that
you're
outfit.
listening.
And she would say, oh, okay, you can borrow.
can send her this
very
episode.
generous. And I always, like, her family, like, she had the nice clothes. She
Yeah.
had a nice, but very, very generous with sharing her home and her clothes and her mom with me.
Well, that's a very great quality.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
and to look back about your experience, my experience, which is very different from hers, is that, that she has, I have to have the iPhone. I have to have the this and that. She, what is this? The shoes. There's something with the shoes lately. It's Converse, something with special.
First, it wasn't like she had to have an iPhone. She wanted one when she
No.
got her
Well,
next phone.
nobody has to have one.
She wanted one when it came time to get a new phone.
Mm-hmm. But I think is she has the top of the line most. I would say so. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah,
Either way.
Yep, definitely. Okay.
So-
Okay. But yes,
But
she
when she walks into a room, she holds her head high because she knows, that she can hold the bar of whatever the bar is. And
But I'd like to think she would have enough confidence to do that even if she didn't have certain material things.
Yeah.
Like that is my want for her to
Sure.
be just have that much self-confidence that it doesn't really matter if other people don't like you
honestly,
because
goodness,
the pants you have on or the shoes that you don't have.
right. Well, the way I've had to describe parenting to the ones with the younger kids coming up is you are weaponizing your kid for the world that's out there. You're literally teaching them is don't worry about people's opinions. Be the best person you can be. Help where you can. And you're, honestly goodness, you're weaponizing this child of yours to go out into this world that doesn't forgive and doesn't forget. And just, and that's the hard part is that you're teaching them to leave. And that's something that, we struggle. I know I struggle with as a parent is you're teaching them to leave you. So that's
and you want to set them up for the most success, but then when it's time to let them go, it's bittersweet because then you think, I hope I've done I've done things in a way that is going to allow this person to be an independent, successful human that contributes to society and is kind.
Yes. And that's why I'd say that was the last point because is how to teach kindness in a world that is unkind. And I think that's one of the things. So we do, well, and we haven't done as much because we haven't had the opportunities. But,
I did send a message.
Yeah, we try to participate in philanthropy. We try to do charity work. We try to engage in the community as best we can. It's just to show appreciation for what we have and to understand that there is a dynamic in which we are where we are and to always help others. And in a world that is unkind, in a world that does judge right away, and in a world that, like, her social currency really is held in items, clothing, phones, cars that people drive, things like that are kind of unfair. Like
very unfair.
How do you teach that perspective to the kids? And I think that's where I think that we've spent a lot of effort and done a great job with, where I just like we said earlier, our daughter will walk into a room with her head held high, knowing that she controls how she feels, she controls how other people will treat her, and she knows she can help where she can. And she's empowered to do those things. And I think that that's one of the things that I will lay my head on the pillow at night knowing that we did as much as we could. I don't go, oh, I should have did more. I don't think there is much more we could have done. So I'm
always open to other people's,
If you have a suggestion, put it in the comment box. At jdvtpodcast@gmail.com. But I think that's what it is. So that's like, and I think if we did this episode 5 years ago, it would have been different. Mm-hmm. If we do it 5 years from today, it'll be different.
Yeah.
I think this is our unique, say 14 to 18 window of raising teens with Jason and Laurie.
But it definitely keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
It's a learning experience, not only for the teen, but also the parents. Because there are things that I have to think about. And I remember feeling this way when she was younger. Like, my God, I never thought I was going to have to talk about this topic. Or,
oh, yeah.
How are we going to navigate this situation? There is no manual for a lot of this stuff. And you just have to do the best you can with the information that you have and follow your gut.
Yeah.
And hope it's right.
Every right decision has a downside. I'm going to tell you that right off the bat. Because the thing is, like, we are open communicators. We have told that young lady a lot of things that her friends might not know or whatever. But like, when she's at the table tonight at dinner and she's cutting jokes, she's telling adult jokes. I mean, there's no, there's no holding back.
What I think we try to do, and this probably not only has the pros that I see, but some cons, is I want her to hear it from us first.
Yeah.
No matter what the topic is, the ones that some people might be uncomfortable with, I want her, and she probably hasn't heard it first from us because, again, with the phones, but talking her through different I can't even say appropriate content that some people may say, well, wow, you told her that way too soon. Or what do you mean you talked to her about this? She's only 15. I want her to hear it from us first and digest the information. And then what she hears from others,
yep.
At least she'll have a small bit, at least, of perspective.
Here's one that's hard for me, and I'm glad we do it, is that we share our experiences in our context with her, even though it doesn't, it's probably abstract. So when I'm having problems with my parents, or I'm not communicating well with people at work, or I'm struggling in like when I went to college at 40, she watched me do it. She watched me struggle academically at 40 years old trying to go to college. I wanted her to see it. I want her to understand Dad's a human, Dad's fallible, and Dad's trying real hard. Be fallible, be teachable, try real hard. And the thing is, like, hey, I'm having problems with this person. I'm having problems with my own parents. I'm having problems with this, that, or the other, and it's what humans do. So don't be afraid of it. Don't shy away from it, and understand that you're not alone. And I think that's one of those things that, yeah, I think it's great that we share it with her. And there's days where it's hard. It's hard to sit there and be like, hey, Mom and Dad aren't perfect, and here's what's up.
Yeah.
And you just...
And like, we apologize to her.
Yeah.
If we do something out of haste, or we
speak out of emotion instead of thought.
Right. And great point. And then later on, you're like, oh boy, why did I say that? Or I shouldn't have said it the way I said it. Maybe I could have softened it a little because I didn't mean it so harsh.
Yeah.
I will apologize to her. And that, I remember someone that's very close to us at one time said, you should never apologize to your kid. And I thought, like, I had to stop and think about that for a minute. And I was like, well, why would I not want to? I want her to be able to admit her mistakes.
Correct.
Why would I? She's learning from me. Why would I not want to show her by example?
Yeah.
And that was just one of the things.
Well, you're human. You're fallible. That's a thing. That's a real
and
thing.
that was someone else's opinion, and
Yeah.
that was the way that they chose to do it in their family. But I do apologize if I think I'm...
Yeah. And my biggest one is that when I come home from work, I'm still in work mode. Mm-hmm. And there's times I forget to shut it off before I walk in the front door. And it's just, when I'm at work, these are orders. This is what we're doing. It's X, Y, Z. And that's not the way this house runs. So I have to remember to reset myself. And some days I don't. And some days I have to go back and go, hey, I screwed up real quick. Let's revisit this. And just come out and you bring it out. And she's been really great. I mean, there's never been I don't really think she's keeping scorecards or anything like that. So, I mean, granted, she doesn't forget anything. Oh my God, she's like an elephant. She just, when I was 4, we went to this restaurant and I had a grilled cheese sandwich and it had bad crust. And I'm like, how the hell? I don't know what day of the week it is.
Yeah. She does not forget. And maybe that's most kids being kids.
Well,
they have a lot more bandwidth. Yeah. Do we have, in my case, almost 50 years of thoughts and memories, whereas she and other teens have much less, but she doesn't miss a single thing.
Thankful and fortunate parents coming to you. Hopefully you've enjoyed our show today.
Our ramblings. And
at 10 o'clock at night, 45 minutes.
Yeah, this
Great
is
job.
a long one.
No, 45 minutes.
It's not bad. I'm not complaining. I just felt like I talked a lot more than I planned on.
You did a great job. This is my favorite episode because you've talked more than I did. I enjoyed it.
You're welcome.
There you go. We'll see her real soon next time too. Well, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we hope you enjoyed it. Let us know.
Wait, do you want to mention the sponsor?
Oh, no? It's on the bottom of the screen. It's
okay. No, sometimes you would.
Well, I can't hit hit this button.
No problem.
Right?
No problem.
Well, we talked about this.
Yep.
If I play the pre-recorded commercials, YouTube flags it because it's got music.
Yeah,
on it.
I just remembered that. So.
Yeah, it's okay. South Florida lift stations. Call Josh, and then it's 303. I don't have the phone number.
I think you did fine just with that. South
Look
Florida
it up.
lift stations.
Google
if you
it.
want the number, ask us. We will send it to you.
Yes, and you can send us a message and go, hey, I have my toilet's not flushing right. I need a lift station.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's me, Jason.
And I'm Laurie.
Hey, and it's been another very terrible podcast.